when you're able to span things out and look, closely between carriers and between frequencies and resolve things, you get to see a lot of weird stuff like this. W1VLF. Hey everybody, this is Paul, W1VLF, and welcome back to the lab. The reason you're seeing my big head up here is because I wanted to do a video today with an older receiver that I have. This is a QS1R receiver. Pretty sure I got it somewhere around 2000 and mid 2000s. Anyhow, it doesn't really matter. What I wanted to show was if you're kind of diligent about looking close into the video, the carrier of different shortwave stations, maybe even AM stations, there's some stuff to see. And here's a pretty good example of a station that has a 120 hertz carrier problem, essentially hum on their carrier, whether it's coming from the audio chain or if it's coming from the RF, I don't really know. Filtering in the power supply, I don't really know. But anyway, when you see this and you look at the graphical user interface, I think you'll really appreciate just how much we owe to the current day software developers like Simon and Yusuf and John Hudson's team over there for SDR Runo. This is very rudimentary. Of course, it was quite a while ago it was made, but let's go over to there and take a look. If you're interested in this sort of thing, please subscribe. And well, I guess without further ado, let's go over there, because looking at my big head is boring. Hey everybody, this is Paul, W1VLF, and we're over here at the Ham Shack computer again. I wanted to show you something, at least I find interesting. If you're looking at this interface here, this is SDR Max 5 software, and it's driving a QS1R receiver. I don't know, maybe there's a few folks out there who are not familiar with this receiver, but I can do a video about that if you're interested. But I haven't turned it on in a long time, so I figured, let me just fire it up and take a look at what's going on. Get familiar with the software again, because it does it's very rudimentary compared to the great stuff that we have available to us now. So I'm here. I have two stations up on the screen. One at what is it, 9265, and the other one at 92. Let's see. And bring that to the center, 9275. So turn the audio on real quick so we can hear it. Okay, that one's got to have music, right? So let's go to the other one.
Knowledge. They thought that
okay.
There was a
put that in the center.
They taught people that you had to be.
If you take a look at this signal here, where my mouse is, and look very close to the carrier in the center here, the red line. Well, there's some space there where there doesn't seem to be any information. It's very dark. Then take a look at this one, the one that we're on right now. This is a another shortwave station. They got some kind of little constant information here, right? This is all the information, the voice inflections, and the bandwidth. And right now we're looking. Let me bring that down a little bit. Right now we're looking at this in. Well, I don't know. Let's go to a 3 kilohertz bandwidth here. Okay, that's probably all we really need, right?
Create a body.
Okay. And if you this program does 3 kilohertz either side. So when you grab a filter, 12 kilohertz or 3 kilohertz, whatever you grab here on this filter list, you're plus or minus that. So this is really at 3 kilohertz, a 6 kilohertz wide bandwidth. So let's try to zoom in, and here's another place where you're going to find how nice it is to have those other programs. Let's zoom into the center of this and see if we can take a closer look at what all this stuff is. You don't see it here, but you do see it here. So I'm going to, just so it's easier, I'm going to go to 100 cycle bandwidth, all right? And I will minimize the filter. So you could see, well, you can barely see the filter here. All right, and I moved off frequency. So let's just try to zoom in and see what that stuff is that's in close to the carrier. So we'll have to click, right-click and show the settings. And now we're going to zoom. It's nice to have that slider over there, right, on the right-hand side, but in this piece of software, written 2010 or so, it's just not there. So, okay, so I'm going to zoom out to out here. Put this back in the middle, if I can. And they're not as pronounced, but what is this? It's plus or minus some amount of kilohertz. Now, I'm in the 100 cycle filter, so you're seeing 100 cycles from either side of the carrier. Let me just slide this out a little bit and turn the volume up. Okay, there's a 120 cycle hum on that station. Bring it into 100 and it's gone. There's some other rumble and stuff in there, but and that as they change sources at the studio, if you look down here, you can see that the hum is weaker here than it was here. So they have some residual. A few minutes ago, this was really bad. So bad it was quite noticeable in the audio. So let's now go up to the other station at 75. Okay, and take a look at very close into the carrier. There's no information there. There's actually a hole where there's nothing. Down past 120 cycles, there's nothing. You can broaden it out a little bit, and at some point you'll start hearing the low frequencies of the person's audio, but you don't see that hum in there. Of course, this is a much stronger station. Let me see if I can pop back to the other one. Okay, and now they don't appear to have much. Am I in 65? Yeah, they don't appear to have much hum at all. So I'm going to pause here for a couple of minutes until I can come back when they do have the hum, because whatever source they're using right now. Let's take a listen. Quick listen. Now, come on. I guess I have to go down here to pop open the filter selection. Nope, it's the same thing.
And Nathan takes him on.
But the 120 hertz is not there, or it's very, very weak. So where's that coming from? Power supply filtering, audio chain? I don't know, but it's interesting to look at. I thought it was. I'm going to pause here until they come back with another source where the hum is much worse.
You to care about your children. He said, if you get saved to start doing the works of the Lord, that you and your household, your children will be saved.
Okay, so we're back. Sorry about that long delay. Well, maybe it was only a minute for you. I just muted it, but let's take a closer look. Here's that 75 station. That's on 9275. Okay, nice clean baseline here, or all around the carrier. And let's look at 65 again. And now we can see there's some, and I'm not tuned right on it here, but let me just, okay. You can see that there's the main carrier and these two little sidebands here. In fact, you can see them right up here. So let's go up and zoom in on this about 8:1, and okay, and we're going to put in a 100 cycle filter, and I'm going to turn the volume back up again. Okay, now we're not hearing anything, not really. But watch when I open this filter up to 120 cycles on either side. open up this here. Okay, now I'm going to bring it back in again. So they got some dirt here around the carrier, but they have some pretty good sidebands. What is this, like 10 or 12 dB down from the main carrier? So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. A lot of stations have little idiosyncrasies around the baseline. This is kind of reminiscent of PL tone or private line tone, where you'll have a subaudible tone that's say 118.8 hertz. You can't hear it because they have the audio filtered out, like I'm filtering it, only with a low pass filter. But boy, when you extend it out, you can definitely hear it. So how do I know that's 120 hertz? Well, first, here's my 100 cycle filter, and it's just beyond that. So let's open it up a little further so we can hear that. And let's go and use what they call postscript here. And let's see, can I do it? I don't know. I haven't run this program in quite a while. Okay, but here's kind of like the IF. And if you look right here, there's those two peaks that we're playing with down here in the main spectrum. And we're 0 to 250 here. So let's watch as there's 0. And watch as I bring this out. Excuse me, right here. 119.7. This should be 100 minus 100 and the same thing. I'm just not perfectly centered on it. So lots of weird stuff happening when you look close into the carrier. I don't know why when both sidebands are active like this, that the hum is worse. And by the way, this was much, much worse before. Let's just pop up to that 275. Okay? Dead quiet, right? Dead quiet. Oh, I got this generator going. I wonder why that thing is... I have so much background noise. But they're real quiet in towards the baseline. But when you're able to span things out and look, closely between carriers and between frequencies and resolve things, you get to see a lot of weird stuff like this. And there's those two again. Let me open. Whoops. And I'll mute it. This is by no means as bad as it gets. It gets really bad at times on this particular station. So I would say play around with the features of your SDR and go hunting and see what you can find. So anyway, this is W1VLF signing off. I have just a quick reminder, if you want to go back and look, I have 120 videos, something like that. Everything from loops to aircraft scatter, different SDRs and everything. Go back there and take a look and see if you find some enjoyment. And if you do, I have a super thanks button down at the bottom here, and you can take a look at that. And if you think you get any value out of it, you might consider pressing that for something. So anyway, W1VLF signing out from the ham station.